thanks for clicking on the video. I'm finally going to do this review of my SaunaLife CL5G sauna, 4-person sauna. Wanted first to open this up by explaining how I landed on this sauna. I'm kind of a freak about doing my research and figuring out what's going to work best for me. This is the path I took. It works good for us. But you know, you may have different needs and different wants and things like that. But this is how I landed on it real quickly. I saw a house for sale and it had, in the photos in the backyard, it had a barrel sauna and I thought it looked kind of cool. And then I had my best friend talked about how he has one. And so then I started doing my research and quickly figured out all the health benefits that come from this. A lot of case studies coming out of Finland, a lot of research done and studies, like I said, so it's factual based data, and a lot of doctors are talking about these studies. So I'll post a few of the benefits. There's a lot of benefits to doing a sauna, so I'll post this picture right here, but I figure, what the heck, that's worth it. Things such as, you know, a big reduction in dementia and Alzheimer's and strokes, heart attack, all these heart disease stuff. So I was thinking, well, this is an investment in my health, so in my family's health. So I started digging in and started researching, looking for saunas, and quickly found something in Costco. So it led me to start there. Here, I'll show you on my screen real quickly. I got a few tabs pulled up and I'll show you how I landed on this one, and then we'll go outside and look at the sauna, and I'll talk to you about a few things on that. So here we are. First searched Costco. I found some stuff online, people saying they ordered it here, and this was similar to the one I saw in that backyard in the picture. So started here, started doing my research. This was cool. It had a 6-watt Harvia heater in it, $3,900. They'll deliver it to you on the pallet and all that. It had really good reviews. So I start YouTubing it and looking into these. Quickly found out there's a ton of stuff online about barrel saunas, about how you get cold feet from barrel saunas. A lot of complaints about that. So I quickly started searching to see what else is out there, and landed on the Redwood Outdoors. This barrel sauna still had that cool look, but as you can see, it has that elevated bench, so you can get your feet up off the ground, sit up high in there where the heat and steam is going to be. So I started looking at this one and I really like that design, but it dawned on me, my wife has terrible cedar allergies. We went down to the hill country, taste some wine and stuff like that, but she was sneezing the whole time because of the cedar trees. I have no idea if the cedar would cause an allergic reaction, but I was thinking, man, if she's leaning against that thing and she starts getting irritation, that would be terrible if I invested $7,300 to find out that she's allergic to it, because I want her to enjoy these benefits also. So kept looking. I ended up finding this SaunaLife, this barrel sauna, and it is spruce wood, thermally modified spruce wood with aspen wood on the benches. And I thought the looks of this thing are really cool. Let's see, gallery, I'll show you the interior of this one. But you can see, I really liked this one. But then I found the cube version, and I was going back and forth on, you know, what would look cooler in my backyard and all that stuff. So it's basically the same seating arrangement. You got the higher bench that's lifted off the ground, so you don't have that problem of the cold feet that you get in the barrel saunas. So I was going between that one and the barrel version. I think they're very similar in size inside as far as volume and all that stuff, and basically the same design. I started thinking about if you're sitting here on the side, I started worrying about this curving into your shoulder, and some people like to lean against this wall and put your feet up to get your feet even higher in the heat. Well, you'd have this weird arch in your back. It wouldn't be a very comfortable position to be leaning back against this wall with your feet stretched out, because your head would be curving over. So that's ultimately what led me to pick this CL5G cube sauna. It's a 4-person. It had the cool glass so you can see out. And you can lean against this back wall, put your feet up, and you're not gonna have that funky curve on your head, so you can do that. It's funny, now that I got it, I never do that, so it wasn't an issue. That's not a very comfortable position for me. My wife will do it every now and then, she likes it. But that's how we landed on this. I did see the Almost Heaven has, I think it's called the Black Cube sauna or something like that. But I did find this one on, this might be the same one, I'm not sure, but they've made these since I've made my purchase. But looks really cool, and it's basically the same design. And I think this comes with the heater, a Harvia Deluxe heater. It's on Costco's website, you can go check it out. But 7,500 bucks, that's pretty good. And I'll show you here, this one already selected. When I bought mine, the Harvia heater was not, the Harvia Spirit with the Wi-Fi was not an option listed. All you could do was the Kip heater and the Hume drop heater. Read a ton of horrible reviews on the Hume drop. They had several problems with the heating element melting and touching each other, and it would cause them to burn up pretty quickly. Then I heard they had a problem with the rocks. I really like the looks of that. So they maybe have fixed that since. Do your research on that. But I ended up talking with the Sonic Marketplace. This is who I bought mine with, Sauna Marketplace. They were actually really good and were very responsive to my text messages to them. You can call and set up a video meeting with them, or call them on the phone, or text them, and they were very responsive. Answered every question I had. But we both confirmed that this would be a good option for me. Ended up being $83.92, and then plus it was $950 for shipping, so roughly $10,000. And then the concrete pad cost me $2,000, and then getting electric to hook it up mine was $1,800. Those are all variables, you know, it just depends on what you got in your house. So I think that's enough talking about that. Let's go outside and take a look at the sauna, and I'll let you know what my thoughts are. Here we are, we'll just go in and get in. First things, I am very happy with this sauna, but the one thing I don't really care for, you can see when I pull in this door, you can see it's getting stuck down here in the bottom. So you can see I'm pulling on it right now, and you got pull enough, but you can see I've already sanded this out once. I've tightened this screw to pull this door that way in, but this door keeps, I think it keeps leaning like that, causing it to rub down there. So that's one thing that's kind of annoying, but it's not a big deal. Here's the inside. Got me a little oil diffuser. That's actually a very cool little accessory. Those temperature sensors, when they hooked it up, the directions on this thing and the spirit heater were not very good. I called and let them know about that, but I don't know why they have two different heat sensors, but they thought one was a moisture sensor or something. But anyways, only this one is the one that's reading right now. It was over here. I moved it to, you know, they say to put it not above your heater, but they put it there. I moved it over just so it wasn't overheating or anything and causing the heater to shut off quickly. I replaced that. I'll put that video right here. So here, guys, this came with the, this was the vent that came with the sauna. It's 3.5 to 4, it's not quite 4 inches, the hole that's right there. Just, it's a pain in the butt to open the vent. You gotta spin this thing, and it really doesn't open until you spin it a long way. The other thing is this screw, if you try to close it, will push against that thing in there. I got this vent off Amazon, which is really cool. It's easy to just open the vent fully when you're done, let that air out. It's easy to close it when you're heating the sauna up. It heats it up quicker. But when we get in here, I'll modulate it, leave it like halfway open just to get some fresh air circulating through here. Then when I get out, I'll leave it fully open. And you can feel cool air coming through here now. The other cool thing is that it's got, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's got the screen to keep the bugs out and everything. But they sell these online on Amazon or some of these sauna shops. The sauna shops, they're like 70 bucks, they're expensive. I'll put the link to this one down that I got from Amazon. I think it was $25 or $30, something like that. But that 3.5 to 4 inch opening fits perfect. They say this will fit a 6-inch opening. So if y'all are in the market for something to cover your 6-inch hole, this one's really nice. Just made it so much easier than spinning this thing, which was kind of a pain in the butt. So it's easy to swap it out. Just unscrewed those. I took this thing off and unscrewed those and screwed the new ones in, and voila, we got a good vent now. And then I made this just on my own. I didn't see any cool hooks I like. Got my essential oils, use eucalyptus mainly, and then I got lavender if we're going to be doing it at night. You can see I do the oil, I think it's not mineral oil. I'll post a picture here. But it's really good. It's a really good oil, and keeps these benches. I can already feel, if you do not keep these benches oiled up and maintained, the wood will start to split. I can feel a little, this is aspen. Like I've said before, the wood is really soft, so it scratches really easy. But I've tried to keep that oil in it. But when I put my towel right here, usually this section of the bench dries out because this is where I always sit, versus over on the sides. You can see it's still dark, and in the middle it's dried. But I try to keep that oil on there and keep it fresh and keeping good. But you can kind of see that wood lifting a little bit. Yeah, there's a good angle of it. So that's the only spot I feel it. Got a little bit but you want to keep them oiled up good. That helps prevent them from splitting. Also, it helps repel the sweat. Here I am doing a cleaning and then doing some paraffin oil on these benches. I'll get in here and usually use a blower and blow all the dust, and then I'll get a vacuum and vacuum it out. Then I use this SaunaLife spray cleaner. It's a disinfectant, stain remover, and deodorizes it. But I'll spray the benches really good, spray it down, spray the floor, and wipe it down with kind of a damp cloth. And I'll let it dry off, and then I'll come in here with the paraffin oil. I've never used the wax. Anybody that's tried the wax, I hear that's maybe a little bit better and lasts a little longer. I was gonna do it this time, but I couldn't find any on Amazon. But I got this paraffin oil. I've tried a couple of different kinds, and they all seem to be about the same. But I'll get this good paintbrush and go along there and just paint it on there and get it lather it in there really good and thick, and let that wood absorb that oil. And what that oil is going to do is it's going to repel your sweat. So you'll see it like when I do another session in here after I finish doing this. If I drip sweat on there, it'll just pool on top. It won't absorb down in the wood. So that's one purpose of this oil, is to prevent the sweat from dripping down and soaking into the wood and getting this thing all nasty. And also, it keeps the wood damp and moist, and it prevents the wood from splitting and cracking over time. So you want to keep doing this. This is my third time I've done it, and I've had this thing for about 3 months. So I try to just do it wherever I touch, and also the wood, you want to keep the wood, all the wood, especially the bench and this floor, really good, and that'll help it prevent from cracking and splitting. But also when I get out and step down here, sometimes it'll pool up, water will drip down here, so I'll clean all this and put oil down here also, and put a good coat of oil in there. Then once it's soaked in, I think the directions say to leave that paraffin oil soaking in for 20 or maybe 30 to 45 minutes. But I'm going to put a good coat on this time and just let it soak in for a little while. And then I'll get a damp cloth and come back and rub all the excess off that didn't soak into the wood. So that's this process. If you've used the wax before, let me know in the comments how you liked it. I saw a video. It looked like the wax does last a little longer, so but I'm sure I'll do that on the next one. I got these little back things. So like I said, my wife will she'll put one there and throw her feet up, or vice versa on this side. But I typically put a towel down and then put that on it, and I'll lean against that just so I keep the sweat off that back bench. Want that to stay looking nice and clean. But yeah, it's been awesome. This Spirit heater has been really nice too. I've really enjoyed that. No complaints. I don't use the touchpad. I just use my phone. I haven't used the touchpad once, so I can't really give you much feedback on that. I got to put it on the back of the sauna, so really can't have access. I mean, I can get to it, but it's just so easy using your phone. So usually after dinner, let our food digest, and I'll kick this thing on. It heats up in about 30 minutes, and it's actually less than 30 minutes, but I'll usually give it a few extra minutes just to get these rocks hot, so it makes some good steam. Here's a quick walkthrough on the app. It's pretty basic. It's the My Harvia app. You touch that. This screen pops up after you've set it up. There's really not much to it. It's pretty self-explanatory walking through it. I know they had some complications early on, but now I haven't had any issues with it once I logged in. I got my home set up, and then to turn it on, you can see your target temp, but you turn it on And you'll see it goes from standby, and it shows you your heating started for your sauna. It's heating. And you can go set the temperature. I like mine at 184. That's where I've got it set at. It's pretty, gets it nice and steamy up there. The lights and the fan. I do not have a fan. I have lights. It came with the kit, but they didn't hook them in through the Harvia. I'm not sure. The way they hooked it up, this doesn't work. I just used, there's a little remote inside that I showed you. But that's it. You'll get a notification on your phone. It'll say your sauna is heated and ready to go. Up here, I got it set. I don't think I have anything like that on there. But I do, maybe settings. And I've tried that. That does not turn the lights on either through the app. There is maybe I did it through the screen on the outside, the remote that's hooked up to it. But that's it. It'll show heating. And once it's heated up, it'll say your sauna is ready and up to temperature. I usually give it about another 15 minutes to let the rocks heat up really good. That way I can pour steam on them or pour water on them, and it creates a lot better steam once you let those rocks heat up. Also, when you go to turn it off, I have it set on a timer out on the panel, but I have it set up so once it gets to temperature, it'll stay running for 1 hour, and then it'll automatically shut off. You can change that to whatever you want. But once it shuts off, it'll go into a dehumidifying phase, which it helps burn off that humidity. I usually leave the door open to air it out and open all the vents, and that dehumidifying, that heater kicks on for a little bit and kicks off, and not real hot, but just enough to put a little warm air in there to dry it out, so no mold no mold grows inside the sauna and stuff like that. But I try to leave that door open until the sauna cools off after I'm done and turned it off. So that's pretty simple app, not much to it. But yeah, you can see my knee. You got plenty of room in here, and let me flip this camera around. I'll show you what I was talking about on the shoulder. So I got the selfie stick, but you can kind of see where my head is. I am 5'11", about 240 pounds. Sorry for the shaky camera. You can see I fit in here perfect. I'm sitting right in front of this heater, and we got plenty of room down there. You could easily fit 3 up here. Typically, I don't think anybody's gonna sit down there on that lower bench. They might, you can. That's what they made it for, but as you can see, I got plenty of headroom. If I stand up here, you can see, I don't know if you can see it very good, but I got plenty. I'm standing up and I'm 5'11", I still got plenty of headroom. Let's see. But you can see in that barrel sauna, if you're sitting here and that thing is curving like that, I feel like it would be hitting your head. So that's why I chose the cube version. And a quick description. Here I got my beautiful stepdaughter on the bench modeling for me. If you get the barrel version, it will be rounded right there and causing her head to lean forward. So the cube one is a flat wall, giving you plenty of space. So that's why, another reason why I chose the cube version. You can see how much room she has up on that top bench. Plenty of room. Here's how I have my setup usually. I'll do a big towel. I got these from Sam's, these big cotton towels. They're amazing. But I'll sit on that up there just so I keep the sweat off the benches for the most part. And then, you know, with sweat dripping down my legs, it falls on that. Just try to keep this thing as clean as possible. I'll wash those and roll them up, you know, like a fancy spa or something, and stack those along. And then at the end of the week, I'll wash them all, 5, 6, 7 towels, and we'll wash them all and get those going. But that's my setup there. Sometimes I'll put this little mat on the floor just to keep the sweat off. That oil does a good job at repelling all that. But got me a little Bluetooth speaker in here. And that's my setup here. On the back of the sauna, I told y'all about the box. If you haven't seen me talk about that box, it's an electrical box that you put the Harvia control module inside of this box, because it is not weatherproof. So I've talked about that in my building video. But also the evening sun, it'll set like right there and just blast the back of this thing. And I'm in Texas, so it's been, you know, it'll get 105, 106 out here, and with that sun just beating on that thing, sometimes I worry it gets too hot. So I made this little thing just to keep the sun off it, and actually it's worked great. It's just this plastic stuff. Got it at Home Depot, and put some fence hinges on it, and just did that. Just put a little protection on it and keep the rain off of it for the most part. Here is the I am not familiar with it. I don't know. I really haven't messed with it. It's just hard to see. You can see the display's on, but it's kind of hard to see, and I got it set up just how I want, so I really haven't messed with it. But there's other videos talking about how to run that. And it has a wire, so you could put it, I was thinking originally about putting it over there on the side. Really, I wanted to put it up higher, like eye level, but I didn't want to drill into that. Didn't want to put it there because that black wire would be, I guess I could have tucked it up underneath there. That would have worked good, and I probably still could do that. Thing is, it's just so easy to use on your cell phone, so there's really no need to mess with this. This is the second time I've opened this ever. But I got this box. It's got that IP67 rating, you know, to keep the water and moisture out of it. It's got a rubber seal right there, so just keep the elements off of it. But some people asked about the conduit. This big thick one is the main one that runs to the house. This is the electrical. They put a breaker in, a 50 amp breaker, and that ran all the way to my garage down there. But yeah, they put that in. And then the smaller conduit runs around under the side. You can see it. I ran it, I had my guys run it on the outside, but you can, I think some people will run that conduit all the way on the inside just to hide it. But honestly, you can't even tell when you run it through the outside. You got to lean way down here, and then you can see it. So I was worried about that originally, but honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. Also, I did stain the outside with the semi-transparent stain to keep the UV off of it, try to protect that wood. Another thing I did is I put, I don't know if you can see them or not, but I put these rubber feet. I don't know if you can see it. Put these rubber feet along the bottom, so there's a little bit of a gap, but I ran some weep hole, it's copper mesh, and it's like a weep hole screening to keep the bugs out. So that's all got screening on the bottom of it, so no bugs are going in there. But it helps. There's a little slope on my concrete for the rainwater to wash away from my house. So I wanted to lift that sauna, this side up just a little bit with those feet, just so that water wouldn't get trapped under there. and rot that wood out. So that's what I did. But it left a little gap, so I put that weep hole, you know, just like you do in your house. You can see that little screen in there, and that just protects the bugs from getting in there. This door, I screwed with this door, screwed with the adjustments on the bottom. It was rubbing and rubbing. You can take that cap off, you unscrew this, there's an adjustment right there, and you open the door and there's adjustment, well, right there, and you can unscrew that, and you can adjust that door back and forth. So this door, bottom corner, is rubbing. I've been having an issue with it rubbing so bad. So what I tried to do is pull this side in to try to tilt that door and raise the bottom corner to lift it up so it wouldn't rub. I have messed with this door so much. I have put different screws in up top to pull that door frame that way. I've put screws. I have done everything. I've put shims. You can see I put a shim in there. Put a shim up there. I could not get anything to do it. So I finally got so mad, I took a tool and cut this wood all the way down, and that finally fixed it. So you can see it's finally doesn't rub at all. That's what I finally got to fix it. So I hated to cut it all up and paint it, and it kind of looks like crap right there, but you really don't notice it. But that fixed it. I don't have any more issues with that. Another thing, you can see there's a little slight gap. You can see it in that, but that's actually good. I've read some articles about how airflow comes through that door, so I'm not sure if that's by design or if the adjustment on the door is all jacked up, but you can see it's just got a little gap. I don't notice it. The sauna gets the temp perfectly. Doesn't let an air escape. I don't feel any air coming in from that gap, but I think it's good. Another thing is these, I don't know what these are for. They put these holes, when you put these together, there's a hole right there, and then there's one under the door, like right in the middle. So I was kind of worried about bugs getting through that, so I put a little bit more of that screening inside those little holes. You can see it right there. But I haven't had any issues with it. That was just a note. You can see I did notice this thing starting to crack a little bit, and torque. It's been raining a bunch, so you see a little bit of rainwater in there, but I'll crank this thing up later, and that heat will dry all that out typically. But yeah, and I've showed you these rubber pads. I put one on the door handle and one on the glass, because there's nothing, if you leave this door open like this and wind catches it, it is gonna slam against that wall. So I just got that to help it absorb some of it. And sometimes I'll put that table, if I'm gonna leave it open and let it air out, I'll put that table in front of that door just so it doesn't blow open or nothing. Haven't had any issues yet, but once you break that glass, it might be a nightmare to change that out. I don't even know what you would do. You'd have to take this whole thing apart and take all these things out, and I don't know, it'd be a mess. This thing, the door handle, it's kind of been a pain in the butt. That's not doing it now, thank God. But it keeps getting loose. It starts wobbling a little bit, but finally got it pretty tight. Put some Loctite on those screws to try to hold it together, but it does, this metal piece will slide a little bit. But right now, it's solid. After I fixed the door, I was having that problem with that handle because the door kept sticking at the bottom. But now, as you can see, that magnet catches and the door is working great after I chopped it all up. That's another thing, just when you're building these things, you just want to make sure, although this one's pretty level, I had a leveler trying to figure out if my door frame was out of whack or what, but really it was pretty straight. So when you're putting this together, you want to make sure this door is as straight as possible. You want to get that level, make sure it's straight and straight this way, and put your screws in accordingly. But another, had somebody reach out. You really can't see, but the trim on the inside is a little bit thinner. So there's two parts of the trim in that building kit. There's this 1x1, you can see it, that goes on the outside, and it mounts flush perfectly all the way across. And even on the bottom, it goes down and perfectly, but the thicker one goes out here on the outside. The ones that go on the inside, you can see they're a little shorter, and they're about half of what those are outside. So they're little thinner pieces, but they don't match flush. Somebody had asked about a gap that they're having. Here's my remote control for the lights. I keep it down low to keep it out of the heat. But you can see again that trim piece, it's not flush, but I don't have any gaps or any problems with it. Got a little, if you can see it, just barely right there. You can see a gap right there. But yep, there's that. So overall, guys, I am very happy with this thing. My two biggest complaints are the directions to build this were terrible, and I've reached out to them and let them know and talked to some managers, and I'm not sure they've done anything about it, but the directions were awful. Can't complain about that enough. It's such an easy fix. They could easily put a video together of them building it. I don't know, it's kind of irritating. Something you spend so much money on and they give you such crappy directions and nobody does anything to fix that. That irritates me. But I got it all put together. The other complaint is that door. That has been bothering the crap out of me, but finally got it taken care of just by taking a saw and cutting some of that wood. I cut a good chunk of that wood off, and so now it doesn't rub or anything down there. But overall, like I say, I'm very happy. I give it, even with those complaints, I give it 2 thumbs up. I haven't had one problem with it, knock on wood. It's been freaking sweet. I get in here almost every night. I haven't had any mold issues or anything like that, which that's good. I try to keep it aired out and I try to keep it clean. I use that cleaner. Like I said, I stained it. The roof's holding up good. Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up. Another side note, not a plug or anything, but I bought this patio furniture. It's this plastic. It's called this brand is called POLYWOOD, but there's a bunch of different brands. But I wanted something that I would get out here and I could sit down on after sweating my butt off in there and just relax. And then obviously you're sitting it on it all sweaty. I didn't want cushions or nothing like that, but with this plastic wood mix, kind of hybrid stuff, you can just get a water hose and spray it off, and they say it lasts excellent in the sun and the heat and all that stuff to the elements. But so far those have been awesome. I really enjoyed those. I'll put my I'll move this table and I'll put it right here when I'm getting in. I'll put my phone with a clock on it right there so I can see through the glass, the timer. I might try one of those sand timers, but I haven't gotten it yet. But usually that's what I'll do. I'll do the table over there and put my phone on it and do a timer so I can see that. And then afterwards, jump in the pool. So that's freaking sweet too. It's gonna be interesting in the winter, how with that cold water, if that really gives me a shock. But anyways, I think that's it. I think that's the end of the video. I've tried to touch on everything possible that I can think of and the questions I got from my other video. Really happy with it. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. I usually get back to you pretty quickly. And if there's something you really need help with, I can drop you my email that I've got set up for the channel, and I can send you pictures or give you my phone number. You can call me, or I can FaceTime you to show you any parts or pieces that you're having confused when you're building this or putting this thing together, and I can try to help you through it. But yeah, that's it. Like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and y'all have a great afternoon.